Hey everybody, welcome to the program. Today, Tyler Menz, he's one of the hosts of the Goodnight Milwaukee Show. They do a live show once a month in Milwaukee. So we're going to talk about that. We're talking about stand-up. We're talking about comedy. It's a lot of fun. And one more episode. And then after that, we reach the Magic 100. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be live. It's going to be a few weeks down the road. It's not going to be right away. There's still some things being ironed out. I have a special guest I'm going to be interviewing, which is going to be a lot of fun. Still booking folks, still getting things in order with the locations and so forth. So we're going to get that out of the way. And there'll be more updates at ronpurtee.com or on Twitter at ronpurtee. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you can be in the audience. Yes! Hooray! It's really cold here. If you're watching this, it's the early part of January 2014, and it's really, really cold. I'm pretty sure I found a frozen Kurt Russell and Keith David by my garbage cans when I was taking it out tonight. So I'm not sure if I should test their blood after I thaw them out or what. We'll see what happens. But enough of my bullshit. Let's get on to my interview with Tyler Menz from the Goodnight Milwaukee Show. Tyler, thanks so much for being on. Let's get right down to business. You're Goodnight Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Where did all that come from? I thought I was the only guy in this business, and in Wisconsin, and all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute.
We started the Goodnight Milwaukee Show. It started with a idea. Jake Cornelli, my co-host of the show, had a Halloween themed stand-up show that he did, and Jake and I got to talk, and we said we want to start writing for characters and have like a different type of comedy show that's not just stand-up or not just sketch and not just improv, but like kind of combines all the two. And so we came up with like the late night style format that we do, and we started. We had our first show in December, and we've got another show coming up here in January.
And now, when you guys sit down to write, what kind of ideas usually are what do you strive for when it comes for Well, is there a certain like a type of idea that you have that you want to follow along with, or is everything just kind of off the wall?
Yeah, we kind of keep it loose, but generally we do monologue jokes. Those are usually written like the week beforehand, so we start with the traditional monologue style that like Leno or Letterman or Conan would start off with. And then we always want to do like a desk segment, which it follows the traditional kind of format that a late night style show would. So it's the monologue, and then we do a desk bit, and then we write for characters that come and join the show. So like the last one we had was I assume you know South Milverine. That is, or you know Milverine?
No, I don't.
Do you know who that is? Milverine's like a local celebrity in Milwaukee. He walks around. He looks just like the Wolverine, and he never wears a shirt, and he just walks everywhere.
I can imagine him today.
Yeah, and so we wanted to spoof him, so we had his like fat, disgusting cousin South Milverine, who's of course in South Milwaukee. So we just kind of like write for characters. We like having games and have audience participation in some of it. And, that's kind of how we write. We get together with our group of we have 5 writers, including Jake and I. So we also have Ryan Mason, Greg Bach, and Christopher Schmidt. We all get together and we just kind of sit down every month and we start from scratch.
I know you mentioned that guy, and we kind of have someone like that. His name is Lorenzo.
Okay.
I'm down in Racine, and he walks around with a lanyard with keys on it.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of keys, and it all sits right here. And I remember I used to have a cable access show a long time ago, and I needed to fill up 5 minutes. So I figured I'm going to catch him and I'm going to interview him. So the first thing out of my mouth was, what's up with the Mr. T starter kit? And he thought it was funny. So I'm like, whew. And he's like around here. He's kind of, that's It's our Wolverine. So
Yeah.
now you know Jake does stand up,
Mm-hmm.
and so does Ryan.
Yep, Jake, Ryan, Greg, and Chris, all of us do stand up.
Oh, you do stand up as well.
Yeah.
Okay, now when you first went, let's get into the history here. When you
Sure.
first started doing getting into stand up and comedy in general, who were some of your the people that you looked up to or that inspired you to get up there?
Like when I started because I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and so that was something that like really interested me. And most of the podcasts I was listening to at the time were comedians like The Nerdist or WTF with Mark Maron, and there were a bunch more. But I just decided I want to try stand up. I want to give it a shot. So I started a year and a half ago about at the Milwaukee Comedy Festival. They threw a stand-up workshop, like an intro to stand-up workshop. So I started there, and I guess I got the bug. Just kept doing it, and
they have medication for that now.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to stay off that though. I really like this. So.
Now here's a question I've been meaning to ask another comedian, because I do stand up, but I don't get out too much. I mean, especially with this weather, and I was just in a car accident, and it's all a bunch of crap. But anyway, do you think comedians as a whole, not saying you, not saying anybody else that you might know, but do you think comedians as a whole need to be failed human beings?
No, I don't think failed. I wouldn't consider myself failed.
Perhaps fractured then?
I think to be an artist, and a lot of people would call stand-up art. Some people would disagree. It's performance art, I guess. You do need a certain amount of struggle or difficulty in your life. And it doesn't have to be big, but it has to be impacting. Like it has to be like impact you in a certain way. So I don't think failed, no, but I think going up against some sort of adversity is definitely helpful and gives you material.
Just look at Mark Maron. Holy
yeah,
crap.
Right.
Oh my God. But do you think that there's much like a really big scene in Milwaukee? Because I remember a year or two ago, it was a huge. Like Milwaukee, Milwaukee, Chicago, the whole Midwest was just booming with stand-up comedy. And now it seems like you only hear a couple of names every once in a while.
I would say, at least in the Milwaukee scene, we've got a pretty strong scene going. A lot of new people come in and out, but the guys who stick around are all really, really good comics. And we've, in the last couple of years, we've had, since I started, there's been a bunch of people who've been going to festivals now and like going out and branching out and like touring. There's like James Irvin Barry who tours. There's Chastity Washington who is invited to do Montreal Just for Laughs.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and she's done stuff with BET, and like those are people like I see every couple weeks. Alan Edge, do you know who Alan is?
I don't.
He was in a State Farm commercial and like a Walmart commercial this year. Tim Hunter, who's new to the scene, just got accepted to go to Gilda's Laugh Fest. So.
Oh
wow! I think it seems pretty strong. It's growing, and which it's a good sign, considering a lot of the shows are at least in Milwaukee they're not in the clubs. They're kind of in bars. It's kind of an indie scene.
That's the thing I think I hate the most is performing in bars, especially if it's an open mic, because everyone's expecting, some guy's going to get up there and do 30 renditions of a Bob Dylan song, and then a comedian gets up there and does 5-10 minutes, and it's like the whole world is going to end.
Yeah, it's a struggle, but I think doing that makes you a better performer and definitely stronger on stage, just because, if you got people who don't want to hear you, but you get them to laugh at least once anyway, it's going to make you better. It's going to make you more comfortable. Because it's easy to go into a room that's everybody's ready to laugh, everybody's having a great time.
Right.
But that's not what comedy is all the time. So it makes you stronger when you go into some place that's like a difficult room, I think.
Well, I know that when I go into a room like that, as long as I can make one person laugh,
then
I know that I did something right.
That's the goal. Like that was my goal when I started. I was like, all right, I just want to get one laugh, and next time I'm going to try and get 2 laughs, and you just keep building. And I don't know, that's how my philosophy at least.
Exactly. What is your thoughts on people who work blue?
I think it's okay. I like a lot of blue comedians. I think you shouldn't overdo it. It's not necessarily my style, but I really enjoy a lot of blue comedians too. Like Purtee was kind of blue, and a lot of those East Coast guys work blue, and I think they're hilarious.
Yeah, Louis especially.
Oh yeah, Louis is awesome.
Well, the thing with Louis, I think, is he knows where to put it.
Yeah,
and he could do his act without saying fuck and things like that.
You can't do an entirely filthy set like that. That gets kind of gross at a certain point. But if you layer it appropriately, it's fun.
That's definitely now. Do you? There's a bunch of different ways people like to write when it comes to stand up. There's people like Louis who will build an hour and then do it on the road for a year, do the special, and be done with it. Yeah. Do you like to stay more topical, or are you more of a?
The jokes I write, I usually are they're not necessarily topical. Well, they are for like my monologue with Goodnight Milwaukee.
Right.
But so those will be topical jokes. We'll write those usually the week before the show. But as far as like my bits, the stuff I do, I like to write things that I know are going to have legs and will last me a while. I don't really like throwing things away. In fact, there's still jokes I did like when I started that I still do and still perform. So when I sit down and write, a lot of it comes from experience and like what happens in my life. And I'm a school teacher, which is why I don't have to work today.
Yeah, or tomorrow apparently.
I know. I was really excited. They can't. MPS just canceled. Which that means my school's canceling too. Anyway, so I'll write like just from life experience is what I try and do.
Well, there you go. That's probably the best way to go because your material lasts forever.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about. I think I read something about how Ralphie May can write stuff the night before he goes up on stage, and it's just some of these people are just ridiculous when it comes to writing. Yeah,
totally. And then you have guys like Jeff Garland who doesn't write any jokes and he goes and improvises entire sets. Like that's just what he does. He's good at doing that. And that blows my mind. I could never imagine going onto the stage without anything to say in particular.
Yeah, I would stand there and be like, duh.
Yeah.
There's people. But I like to think that my Westboro Baptist Church joke will that bit will last forever because those.
Yeah, as long as they're around.
As long as hate exists, I have material.
Totally.
But now you said you were a school teacher. What do you teach?
I teach 3rd grade.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's fun. Like 8 and 9 year olds, they're cool. I like working with them. They provide me with a lot of material as well.
Have the two worlds overlapped at all? Like if people, like maybe parents or something, come out to a show and then you bet no?
No, let's hope they don't. I like having like a secret life, teacher life. I kind of like having the two different worlds apart. Some of my colleagues did find out that I was doing it though and started coming to a couple shows, which is fun. It's not like they're colleagues.
Right.
Not like parents or like kids. I would die if I saw like a student at a show.
that just throws the anal sex set all out. I can't damn.
Yeah, girl, I gotta cut this joke.
Yeah. I've also noticed like the older I get and the more stand up I do, the more I appreciate people I didn't appreciate 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like right now, back in the like I'd say 2000, 2001. Like, oh, Jerry Seinfeld, great, okay. Now, love the guy, think he's amazing.
Oh yeah,
and I think Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is quite possibly the best web show aside from mine.
Yeah, I like it a lot. The new trailer is supposed to be up today. I was just looking right before you called me. But Louis was on the last one.
I thought he had a story about him getting stuck in the mud.
Stuck Louis.
Hey, you stuck Louis. That would have been a great bit too. You gotta wonder if he's going to be writing something about that, And then I'm really looking forward to an episode. I think it airs beginning of February when Howard Stern's on.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's fun. I was just listening to WTF. Artie Lang was on that.
I'm
So like,
so behind.
oh, it's so good. He's like one of the best interviews in a long time. So I'm really excited for Howard Stern too. I'm kind of interested to see the Leno comedians in cars. I'm not a huge Leno fan, but I just finished the book The War for Late Night, which is all about Conan and Leno.
Oh, the sequel to the one about Letterman and
Yeah.
Leno, yeah.
Yeah, I just finished that, and like I was like very pro Team Coco when it was all happening, but like I think I like gained a little bit of understanding about why like Jay Leno didn't want to give up the show, stuff like that. So I'm like interested to see what he has to say on the comedians in cars.
I just hope that I hate to say this because I don't like Leno at all, but I hope he comes back and gets rid of Jimmy Fallon because I cannot stomach Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, really?
I cannot. I don't know what it is about him. He just bugs the hell out of me.
Really? I think Jimmy Fallon will do a better job on the Tonight Show, like he's done with Late Night, than he did on SNL. He was not very good at sketch.
No.
He was break all the time. But the show that he's created, the late night show that he's created, that follows Leno, I've enjoyed, and I think it's growing the like Conan did. It's kind of growing the younger demographic of people who watch Late Night.
I did like his Pearl Jam week.
Yeah,
that was great. But now, have they said if the Roots are coming with him?
I hope so. That's a fantastic band.
It really is.
Backing band.
It really is.
I'm hoping. I was bummed when Max Weinberg didn't follow Conan to TBS.
Well, he's busy counting all his E Street Band money.
Jamming with Bruce.
I guess. I mean.
So, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Oh God, when did I first do my first set? I usually remember these dates. I've been doing it since I want to say 2010, but I'm not very consistent because, like I said, I live in Racine. Getting up to Milwaukee every day to hit an open mic is just not in the cards, and there's not many down here at all.
Right.
But I try to hone my craft with this. So, and I noticed that a lot of stand-ups they go one of two ways. They either go to the sitcom or they go to the talk show. Yeah. There's one or they don't. There's nothing like. I think the only stand-up I know that has an amazing film career would be Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, yeah. I would say, George Burns in later life.
yeah. Oh God, you devil. That was good stuff. Yeah. But no, it's. I don't know. It's just kind of people always glamorize it. That don't know the life, and they say, "Oh, well, you just get up there and you talk." You don't know how the struggle of putting together a good 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's a lot harder than people assume. But I always say, like, people say something like that. Well, you should try it sometime. See how you like it.
Exactly. And then the best part is when they say, "Oh, 5 minutes? That's nothing." To a comedian, 5 minutes is an eternity.
A good 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And then imagine if you're up there and your first joke bombs.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, for 5 minutes. It's ridiculous. It's like, oh my God. Get the spotlight off me.
You have to be comfortable with silence when you're doing stand-up.
This is very, very true.
Not hearing anything. And if you're fine with that, then I think you'll be good in the long run, as long as you keep going.
Oh, exactly. Now, let's get down to some plugs here, sir.
Yeah.
The new show is going to be on the 25th of January.
Yep.
And where is that going to be at?
At the Arcade Theater, which is in the UC. It's in Grand Avenue Mall. If you go, like, where the TJ Maxx and Grand Avenue is, it's down. There's, like, a rotunda upstairs. If you go down there, it's down in there. It's kind of a weird spot, but Matt Kemple, who runs the Milwaukee Comedy Festival, that's his, like, space. So he has stand-up shows and sketch and everything like that. We're following the Retro Show. So the Retro Show will start at 7:30. Are you familiar with the Retro Show?
I am not.
It's fantastic. It's my wife's favorite show. She likes it better than my show.
Time to have a sit down with her.
I know, right? So the Retro Show, they do a stand-up, they do a section of improv, and then they take an old TV episode and act it out. They've done Cheers, they've done the one I did stand-up for. They did an episode of Seinfeld, and there was the episode with the maestro.
Oh, God.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And the guy who played the maestro, Mark Metcalf, is from Milwaukee. He showed up and played the maestro, so he played himself.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a great show. And then if you go to the retro show, you can stick around and you can hang out and stay at our show for free, or you can come late and pay to get in. So either way, yeah.
And on the web, there's the Facebook page.
Yep, Facebook / Goodnight Milwaukee. There's Twitter, which is at Goodnight MKE. There is our website. That's our Tumblr page right now, which is goodnightmke.tumblr.com.
Nothing wrong with Tumblr.
No, I like it.
There's some great porn on there.
I haven't ventured into that, but
just wait. One day you're gonna be bored and be like, "Well, I'm gonna look up what he was talking about." Holy shit! So, but
it's a great way to host a website. Trying to think, we've got a YouTube page in the works. Trying to piece together video from our last show, and I think you can follow all of us on all of the writers and performers on Twitter as well. So
at Tyler. Is it
at J Tyler Menz?
Okay, there you go. Follow him, and then when's your next stand-up gig?
It should be the 24th. We've got something going on at the. We don't have a venue yet. It was going to be at Comedy Sports, but they're still looking for a venue. After that, oh gosh, I don't even know where my things are, where my notes are. Oh, here they are. After that, I've got January 31st at the same place at the UC. I'm doing the 8 and 8 showcase, and that'll be recorded and put onto a CD to hand out. So
nice.
I think if you go, you get a CD. You get one later. And then I'm doing March 14th. I'm headlining Milwaukee Punk Fest.
Ooh.
Yeah, at Kochansky's Beer Hall. So that should be interesting. I'm excited for that.
Comedians and bands. Sometimes it's a very volatile combination.
Well, I'm hoping it goes well. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be a fun night. So
there you go. Well, I thank you very much for being on, and we'll have to have you on again very soon. Everybody go check out the Goodnight Milwaukee Show on the 25th. It's going to be below the discount below the discount female clothes store. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Ron.